With annual interest, you receive your interest at the end of the time period, in this case, a year. But it's also possible for interest to compound within the year. For instance, your interest rate could be compounded quarterly. In this case, the interest is paid 4 times each year. The number of times per year that interest is compounded is called n. So in this case, n equals 4. If n equals 4, that means that we calculate and pay interest 4 times. It also means that only 1/4 of a year will have passed between each interest calculation. So we have to divide the annual interest rate by 4 to get the interest rate for 1 calendar quarter. 10% divided by 4 gives us 2.5%. Then we calculate the interest 4 times. So we have 1,000 as our initial investment, 1 plus 0.025, the new interest rate, and then raise it to the power of 4. The power of 4 reflects that the interest is calculated 4 times a year, each time at the annual rate divided by 4. So, even though the annual interest rate is the same, 10%, you earn an extra $3.81 by quarterly compounding as compared to annual interest. You end the year with $1,103.81 instead of $1,100. In general, the result of compounding more frequently is given by the formula A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power, where A is the total account balance, P is the principal or starting balance, R is the annual interest rate, T is the number of years, and N is the number of times per year that the interest is compounded. What if we compounded weekly? What would the formula for that look like? Discuss and write a formula for that case. Then determine your bank balance after 1 year, starting with $1,000 and compounding weekly with 10% interest. If we compound weekly, that's 52 times a year, so N becomes 52. So in this case, we have $1,000 as P, we have 0.10, which is our interest, divided by 52, and then we have 1 year, so we're going to have 52 times 1. When we figure this out, we get $1,105.06. When we had compounded 4 times, we gained $3.08 more than if we had used simple interest. Compounding 52 times earns a bit more. $5.06 is $1.98 more than the $3.08 we earned by compounding 4 times. Let's see what happens if we keep increasing the amount of times the value of the account is compounded. Fill in this chart for compounding. So we have our annual compounding, we have quarterly, weekly, daily is going to be 365.25 times, so that will be our new N value, and every second would have this as our N value. So for daily, we would end up with 10 extra cents from the weekly amount, and by compounding every second, we would end up with 1 extra cent more. Let's look at this data from a slightly different perspective. So if we just look at how many times we compound per year and the extra interest earned, what do you notice about the amount of interest gained as the amount of compounding increases? The amount of interest earned is approaching $105.17 per year as the amount of compounding gets very large. Mathematicians wondered if there was a way to predict the limit as the amount of compounding approached infinity, if compounding was done continuously. The next section will address this intriguing question.